Hello, welcome to the program Roundtable on the combined service of ASO Radio and Television. My name is Topsy Gimba. Roundtable comes to you every day from Monday to Friday where we discuss national issues. Sometimes we try as much as possible to invite guests who know the topics that we'll be discussing for them to add value to the discussion so that those who watch us or either listen to us using the radio will become informed at the end of the day. Of course, Nigeria is in progress and there are so many things really happening within the country. And of course, government as well is working so hard to ensure that whatever appears to be negative, it tries as much as possible to contain it. But of course, living with people that are different interests, and these interests span to groups and whatever. And at the end of the day, you discover that, they form an alliance to ensure that whatever they are pressing hard to get is being provided for. Of course, there are professions that are very key to our lives, and they need to be taken care of. Just as the way government tries as much as possible to protect our interests when it comes to issues that bother us. It is unfortunate that today we are talking about strike, particularly doctors going on strike. You know what it means? This is a place where sick people visit and get medication. And at the end of the day, the person who attends to you, tells you that he's no longer going to attend to you. And that means you are likely to die or probably going back home without having been attended to. And the problem keeps raging. Today, we are talking about National Association of Resident Doctors at the national level going on strike. And of course, whenever you go, wherever there is an hospital, indeed, you will not see their presence there. And patients upon patients are trooping into these facilities seeking for attendance. And at the end of the day, they don't get to see that. Of course, there are so many reasons possibly that must have pushed them to go to that extent, knowing very well that this is not the first strike ever being carried out by these doctors. And I believe it's a follow-up of what they had asked government to do and probably couldn't be attended to. And they felt the only way to do that is to go on strike again, and here we are. Of course, we have made some arrangement to ensure that we invite the leadership to speak with us, looking at the problems patients and Nigerians are going through, whether or not they'll be able to call off the strike becomes an issue. By the time we use the microphone to him, he gives us his reasons as to why they are on strike and why they are not listening to the voice of wisdom by really calling off the strike. Again, Roundtable will come your way. We're taking a short break. When we return, we'll unveil the guests for you. Don't go away.
We are a nation blessed with people of diverse cultures, religions, languages, and opinions. It is ironic that we are now being ripped apart by our greatest strength, our diversity. We have allowed intolerance, insensitivity, bigotry, and nepotism to blind our vision of the greatness we can achieve working together as one. We may not have the same culture, nor religion, nor language, but we all belong to the same nation by the divine will of God. We did not choose to be Nigerians. Nigeria chose us. This nation is our divine heritage, and if we open our eyes, we would realize that what divides us pales in comparison to what unites us. And by the comparison and conciliation of our differences, we will grow until our differences disappear. Our unity cannot be willed by mere declarations, nor do we get unity by ignoring the questions that beg for answers. We must celebrate our diversity and debate our differences without fracturing our unity. Our strength is not in our numbers, but in our unity, because even the weak become strong when united. Nigeria unite. This message is brought to you by Abuja Broadcasting Corporation, owners and operators of ASO Radio 93.5 FM Abuja, ASO Television, Star Times Channel 127, Free TV Channel 507, and UHF Channel 38.
Come back. Yes. As I did say from the prologue, I have a respected doctor and, of course, a friend of the house being invited to be with us on this program this morning. He is the first vice president at the national level for the National Association for Resident Doctors in the person of Dr. Arome Adejo. It's a pleasure having you on the program this morning.
Thank you, Topsy. Good morning, Nigerians. Thank you for the warm reception and for the good introduction. Wow, I'm a friend of the house. That's lovely.
Thank you, Doctor. Imagine a country being weighed down by COVID-19, and at the end of the day, those who are saddled with the responsibility of either telling us how to stay safe with COVID-19 are on strike, not to talk about any other ailment at all. How will you feel?
Well, Topsy, I feel very, very bad. And I want to start by apologizing to Nigerians for this drastic action that we have taken. I must say it's not only COVID-19. It's not only the third wave that is more dangerous because it's more infectious. We're also battling cholera. Also, I feel bad. Well, that is for me as a doctor working in Nigeria, because I don't want to leave my patients stranded, because the people that come to me are the poor citizens of this country like me. The rich people, those in government, can hop into their jets and leave this country if they are sick. But unfortunately, the cause of this issue now is because of the non-responsiveness of this group of people. So when doctors go on strike, everybody suffers, including the doctors. We all are patients, potential patients. My father can be a patient, my mother can be a patient, I can be a patient, my colleagues can be a patient. So I'm not happy, I am sad. I hope this matter will be resolved very soon.
So what do we do?
Well, the reason we're on strike is not a new thing, sir. This is almost 6 months. We gave the first notice in January. And since then, there have been talks and culminating to the first strike, which was for 10 days, and against the wishes of our members, we, the leaders of the association, pleaded with them. We pleaded with them after a series of discussion with the government, after signing a document that the Minister of Labor, that I so much respected, termed Memorandum of Action. He wants to separate it for the previous Memorandum of Understanding that have been signed in the past without any proper action backing it. So this one, he said there will be action, and that's why it's termed Memorandum of Action. And we saw the sincerity in what he wanted to do. We listened to the appeal of the speaker, a man that have done so much for the medical profession and for Nigerians, a man which we respect. And we pleaded with our members to sheathe their swords against their own advice. We call off the strike. We were termed persona non grata by our members because they felt we've collected so-called Ghana must go to call off the strike. We did it in the interest of Nigerians because we saw that Nigerians were suffering. And we saw the sympathy we had for Nigerians. Now, but when you look at the memorandum of action, the time frame, there's the highest time frame there for most of the things to be actualized is 5 weeks. The memorandum of action was signed on almost 16 weeks now. And 5 weeks after, nothing explicit has been done. We the association leaders, started begging, pleading, almost going on our knees, because we don't want another strike. And At this juncture, I need to also apologize to my members. I am sorry that I failed them. Though I did that in the interest of Nigerians. They warned us not to listen to the government because the government have this history of reneging on their promises. We tried all diplomatic means that we could. We wrote series of letters. And to make matters worse, another circular emanated from the head of the service of the Federation telling our house officers and the youth corps doctors that they are no longer in the scheme of service. And what that means, it means that the 1 year you spent as an house officer is not counted in the scheme of service. You have lost 1 year. And house officers are not students. They are doctors. Doctors, before I did our job, I spent like 9 to 10 years in medical school. So they are full-fledged doctors whose skin is being fine-tuned by the senior colleagues. You understand?
Yeah.
So you can't tell them to just lose 1 year. And it means you can decide to just give them whatever you can give them. In the country where medical training is not subsidized, in a country where parents struggle to train their children in medical school, my father had to, send me abroad with his gratuity. His gratuity after retiring in 2002. And I come back to Nigeria and I tell him, Daddy, I cannot take care of you. It's unfair. A situation whereby the community sacrifice, the community that you are from, do contribution to send to you in school because they know that as doctor, you will come and take care of them. You will give them free health care, CSR. And you are telling us that as house officers, you will be paid stipends. You are not in the scheme of service. And the Lagos state government, who, quote unquote, are quick in going after wrong decisions, took it up and implemented it. And the medical and dental council boss even go around instigating our members, telling them that they cannot do anything, that our check-up dues as an association over his dead body will it come to us. So all those utterances and circulars going here and there, and the fact that the government paid, you have about is it up to 1,000 and something members affected by non-payment for like 6 months, and you paid some, you didn't pay some, and some of them they have percentages of their salaries being paid right from January till date, and you promise to migrate them from the corrupt and irregular GIFMIS platform to the more regular and standard government payroll system, the IPPIS, which we have been pushing for. You did not migrate them. The reason is left to you, because we were of the opinion that the GIFMIS platform is a corrupt one. Being a noble association, we don't want to be associated with corruption. We want the salaries to come straight from the government coffers, which is what it's supposed to be. You understand? Mm-hmm. Because doctors are not supposed to be paid as contract staff. And that is one of the major issues that we're having. And up to now, I will tell you that only 20% of that memorandum of action, I don't think it's even up to 20, has been achieved. And we wrote a letter to them previously. We told them we are going for a meeting at Umuahia, and we cannot guarantee the outcome of the meeting. We have succeeded in holding our members down till now, and I don't want to be lynched. You understand? And they've accused me that I'm taking Ghana must go. So please, do what you need to do. At least do something tangible, so we can be bold enough to say, please don't go on strike. Nothing was done. And lo and behold, the decision to go on a strike was a unanimous one. All the delegates present voted for the strike. Nobody voted against the strike.
So from the time we got started to where we are, has there been any significant improvement in terms of your welfare? There
is no significant improvement. And to be candid, we are not even talking about our welfare alone. Okay. We are talking about job satisfaction. job satisfaction.
What do you mean?
By job satisfaction, I mean the aim of every good doctor is to see a patient, treat the patient, and when the patient is going home, the doctor is happier than the patient. All we just want to hear is, doctor, thank you, God bless you.
So what and what's supposed to be in place to have a patient going home happier?
The basic things we need to make our job work for us. You go to some of the hospitals, X-ray machines, things as simple as X-ray is not functional. You can count how many hospitals in this country have a CT scan. And the CT scan is the gold standard for head trauma. And head trauma is one of the common things you have when you have an accident. You know how bad and unsafe our roads are in this country. Anytime I travel, I pray until I get to my destination. Because if you are involved in any form of accident, my dear, you don't even have a CT scan to check. Because with a CT scan, you know what type of management you will institute for that patient to save the patient's life. And as a doctor, you cannot be doing guessing work. This is life. Life is one. Life has no replacement. You know, my first few weeks in this country as a doctor, I used to change my gloves frequently for patients. My consultant warned me, the next time I see you doing that again, you will buy us a packet of gloves. I was thinking, how? I don't understand. We have to make sure that our patients are safe. He said, there is no glove. You are wasting the gloves bought by the patient. I said, but it's for the patient's own safety. And he told me, you know how much a patient is using buying those gloves? Prior to COVID-19, to get gloves in the hospital, it is a very big tax. Patients are taxed to buy their own gloves. Gloves! Patients buy to the hospital. Is it nice? So things are not working. Things are not working. So we are not only fighting for our welfare, we want job satisfaction. And let me tell you, one of the major reasons why we're having this brain dream now, called brainstorm, because every blessed day a doctor leaves this country to work outside, is because there is no job satisfaction. There are some lives that you feel you can save, but because of what is lacking, you cannot save it. And you go home depressed. There are times when I lie down in my room, when I off the light, I start to see faces of my patients that are begging me, doctor, please, I don't want to die. But I know that some of them, their deaths would have been preventable. And I feel bad. I was almost becoming depressed. And I want to tell you something. Today, a lot of doctors in this country are depressed because of what they passed through. You see us telling you, don't do this, don't do that. But we do it because that is what keeps us going. And at the end of the day, doctors die horrible deaths because of what they see. And above all, we don't even have insurance. I operate on patients that have all sorts of things. I have to be bold enough, or else I cannot save life. I get pricked in the process. No insurance cover. I've taken antiretroviral so many times as post-exposure prophylactics. And lo and behold, if you have ever taken that thing, you will almost go crazy. And I will be forced to come to work under the influence of antiretroviral. When you take it, you are almost hallucinating. You are hallucinating. You drive. I nearly had an accident one time when I was on antiretroviral. And God bless you. If you become infected with hepatitis, HIV, you give it to your wife or to your girlfriend. You have children, you become infected with the third wave, you go and give it to your children. Come on, man. If you said I have committed a sin by being a doctor, has my wife sinned by marrying a doctor? Has my kids sinned by being brought into a home of a medical doctor? We are not even asking for a full loaf of bread. We were asking for a fraction of what is being done in sane crimes. And you are telling us to go back to work. You are asking us to go back and commit suicide. It is suicidal. When you see death and you are going into death, it's suicidal. It is not casualty again. We are like soldiers who you are sending into the land of fire without any form of protection, without any form of confidence, you're asking the soldier to go and die. That is suicide.
Doctor, but long before now, you know, you've been seeing this kind of situation in this country. And I believe you underwent your studies in that kind of situation, where hospitals have been mere reference places where you just go, doctor prescribes, you go back and you buy. That has been the situation. What informed your imagination for you to go and strike that some of these things you are pressing hard to be provided for will be done?
Now, you see, sir, what we have been demanding for from time immemorial, we have been asking for it. And with the advent of COVID-19, we learned a lot of lessons. We lost 13 of our members to COVID-19. Now, not to talk of those that have died previously as a result of Lassa fever infection. There's a case of a doctor in one state. I don't want to call the name of the state. That doctor, ironically, is from a local government area close to mine. The doctor had Lassa fever.
You are which state is that one?
I'm from Kogi State.
Okay.
But the state actually, Taraba State.
Okay.
The doctor had Lassa fever. He went into renal shutdown. There was no dialysis machine to dialyze him. The only dialysis is for HIV patients. It cannot be used to dialyze the doctor. On his way to Irwa, the doctor died. A young doctor of 30-something years old. Young graduate. The doctor has no insurance. He left behind parents that labored, that farmed, that sent him to school, hoping to gain, even not monetary terms, but at least let your son take it to the hospital. Hey, this is a doctor's dad. He left them behind. So whatever we are fighting for has been there for a long time, as you rightfully said. But what pushed us now to go the extreme mile, to go the extra mile, is because of the COVID-19. Because we have seen that Nigerian officials, they will not answer you if you don't push. They will not answer you. They want you to go and kill yourself, and they will be praising themselves that they are doing this, and they are doing that, and they are doing this, and they are doing that. Every doctor in this country, whether you like it or not, gives CSR. You go to the church, your members will stop you. Doctor, I'm sick. You prescribe. You give them something to buy drugs. You go to the market. Anybody that says, you see, doctor, I'm sick, I cannot come to the hospital. You prescribe. So as a doctor in this country, you are even doing community service by extra mile. And the government don't care. Because when we see our colleagues who have died, their families uncared for, we have to push for it, because anybody can be in their shoes. Now, we have been going on strike, actually, and we've called up based on intervention, based on promises. And, then we just believe that, okay, this is our country. We must save it by our cost. And we now saw that some of us are, quote and unquote, becoming depressed. You see a doctor buying a third-hand car because he can't even get loan to buy a good car. He will end up spending more on that car than buying a good car. You see a doctor not being able to pay his house rent. You see a doctor not sending his kids to good school. Yeah, to good school. Because he doesn't have enough time. As a resident doctor, you spend all of your life in the hospital. You don't even have time for your own wife. So what actually propels us is the fact that we are not even doing Nigerians any justice by keeping quiet. Because when you cannot save the life that you are hot to save, then why are you a doctor? When you see your patients crying, doctor, please, I don't want to die, and they die for preventable death, then why are you a doctor? When you cannot have things like common x-rays in the hospital, CT scan, not even talk of MRI, to even help you treat your patient very well, then why are you a doctor? And at the end of the day, a patient who may be, quote and unquote, has been well exposed, bring his relative to the hospital, see that this thing that is supposed to be done is not done, the person die, the patient pounce on you and beat the hell out of you. We had instances of that. A lady was stripped naked in one hospital here in Abuja. We protested then. That was about 2 to 3 years ago. I was among those that protested. And at the end of the day, we had to free that guy out of empathy. Hey, his relatives died. But is it fair for a patient relative to beat a doctor up? No security in the hospital. Lack of security. My wife gave birth. I paid. Well, thank God for my present MD. He has changed all that. Then, you have to pay as a staff in the hospital. We have instances where a doctor that have not been paid for 3 months was on duty. She had a miscarriage. She was forced to pay for the treatment given by the hospital she worked for that has not paid her. Come on, man. You can't keep on taking this. You can't.
So where are we now with these demands? Since it's no longer memorandum of understanding, but memorandum of action.
Well, who is supposed to take the action? The memorandum of action has slowly turned into a memorandum of inaction. The government on their part.
You mean no hope in sight?
That's what I'm saying. No hope in sight. All they do is to come and threaten us to go back to work, not even knowing that the mind of an average Nigerian man is to leave this country. An average Nigerian doctor is to leave this country because there is no hope in the system. The Ministry of Health, who is saddled with the responsibility of enacting policies to make the health system functional, they're not doing their job. I went to a seminary, and in the seminary I remember we were told by our rector that not everybody here will be a priest. Some of you are here by destiny to make others be better priests. So the Ministry of Health, they are there by destiny to make us function properly in the hospital. They're not doing their job. They're just there pushing file up and down. They don't even know what they're doing. Or if they know what they're doing, they won't tell us to come back to work under this kind of condition.
But Dr. Adejo, is it not better to render these skeletal services by providing Panadol for us or prescribing Panadol for us than you embarking completely on the strike by not prescribing Panadol for us, and at the end of the day, the problem gets worse by the day, and not as if it's going to be solved. Besides, your profession is one of the professions we have in this country, and any other one is grappling in that kind of situation like yours. So if all of us will go on strike, one day will become of the country.
Thank you. This boils down to everyone then. Our inactivity, our inaction has put this country where we are today, and it's making us going down the drain because everybody have this opinion. Hey, let's do it like this. Look at US. US, do you know what they suffered? They fought to make it a functional system. Now, you said who will write you paracetamol? First and foremost, the consultant are in the hospital. They are yet to join the strike. They've issued their own.
But they will be overstretched now.
Yes, they've issued their own, and they said they will go on strike soon.
The consultants?
Yeah. They tell you how bad it is because they themselves have not been paid. Also, some of them have not been paid. They how bad it is. You cannot die trying to save life because once you are dead, who will not save the life? Who will save the life once you are dead? That is one. Then now, the reason why we called back the previous strike that our members were angry with us was that well-meaning Nigerians like you appealed to us that who will give us paracetamol? The poor masses. Because the rich, maybe they don't care. But you and I, you're appealing to me, who will give us paracetamol? That's why we came back after the MOA was signed. Now, the same story over again. Nothing is being done. Now, we have reached a stage now where if the doctor don't act, the doctor will die. Now, if I die, who will give my family paracetamol? You are asking me now, who will give you paracetamol? If I die, who will give my family paracetamol? That is one question. Number two is that the association, we have conscience. We have conscience. We have thought it wise that, okay, let's give Nigerians an opportunity for free consultation. We have a platform, which I will not say it here. We're supposed to launch it next month, but the president, in his kind-heartedness, have brought it forward and appealed to the sponsors to please open up the platform so ordinary Nigerians can consult a doctor with their phone. Go online, you get a doctor, you consult, the doctor will prescribe for you online, you go and buy your drug. If you stop me on the road, if you know I am a doctor and tell me that you are sick, I will prescribe for you. But the problem is, if these drastic measures are not taken, the system will be going down the drain. And look, if I am infected with COVID-19 now, do you know how many patients I see a day? There was a time in my life I see up to 70,000 patients a day. Now, the ratio of a doctor to a patient is 1:4,000 something before, but now it's almost 1:7,000. It means if a doctor is infected and is not well protected, he gives it to 7,000 Nigerians. The 7,000 Nigerians will now go extend it, give it to multiples. 7,000 times 3 times 4
times whatever, yes.
Before you know what, the whole country goes down.
Yeah.
So this action we are taking is not even for us alone. It's for you. So we have to suffer now because we are also suffering the consequences of the strike. My father is here with me. I brought him for his checkup. I could not take him to the hospital because I am on strike. So I'm suffering also. You are not only suffering. And that's why you see I apologize to Nigerians, and I also apologize to my colleagues. And I tell you that if we keep on having this kind of mindset, let me ask you one question. What is the job of a functional government? You look at education sector, you look at security, you look at health also. You look at the mass media. Your people have to be informed. Health is wealth. Education is good. Security, your borders have to be secured. Now look at it. How much are they dedicating to health in their budget? You call millions, where is the millions going? People are not being held accountable. People are not being held responsible. To be very frank with you, sir, we've reached a stage where we are working and we are dying. Okay, now let's stop to work now. Yes. There is no hope while we are working, thinking that dialogue will help. How can you expect a doctor that has not been paid for 6 months to attend to you, to operate on you, an hungry doctor that has not eaten to even operate on you? If you know, God forbid, if you have any ailment and you need surgery done, if they tell you this man has not eaten since morning, please stop him. What is he operating on? And MDCN will now knock their armor on you and say, I was listening to the news this morning and it says some doctors have been penalized for misconduct or malpractice. Now, the people in the Ministry of Health, who is penalizing them for making that hungry doctor make a mistake? The MDCM boss, who is the disciplinarian of the health sector, who is penalizing him for being indisciplined? You see, if we continue in this line, we will not have a country called Nigeria. We will not have a health sector in this country. What we are doing now is for the health sector to be better so that you and I, my children, your children, our families, will be taken good care of. That is it.
Yeah, Dr. Arome Adejo, you know, in philosophy, there is what we call necessary evil. You know, there is this evil that you cannot avoid doing it, though it is evil in itself. Between refusing to go to work until some of these demands are met, and then allowing the patients to go through the hardship until he or she dies. In your training as a doctor, which of course you are, you are meant to stabilize, the ailing society.
That's a lovely question. I think I will help you rephrase it. Between dying in a country where the number of doctors is declining every day, and you'll not be able to attend to Nigerians again. I'm going on strike to force the action being done. Which will I choose? I will choose not to die, so that I will be alive to attend to Nigerians in the future. You see, the truth is, let's look at the fact. Who is at fault here? We have the same agitation over the years. You signed a memorandum of action with us. Even if we were not comfortable with it, you've not done anything significant. And you're telling me that I should go and keep on suffering and die and abandon my children that they didn't ask me to bring them into this world.
What about mine that you are refused?
That's what I'm saying. That's why you should join your voice with me and tell the government, tell the Minister of Health, tell the government, tell them not to run abroad and take care of themselves and leave you behind there to die. Talk to them. Don't talk to me. Because I'm facing the same thing like you. You talk to them. They run abroad for any slightest thing. They use your money. I pay taxes. You pay taxes. They use these taxes to go abroad to take care of their children. And they abandon you here. They abandon me here. No, man, you talk to them. You tell them the truth. We're not telling them the truth. That's why they are comfortable where they are and doing what they are doing.
Okay, do you have any time frame to call off the strike?
No time frame. Indefinite. Indefinito. The government has to be responsible to the citizens.
So we
pay taxes.
We should be dying.
No. Me and you should be dying. That's what they are saying.
Okay. Well, we'll now yield the microphone to those who are watching us or listening to us on radio. It's about time for us to give you that line that's well known to you to call and make contribution on this wonderful discussion we're holding today on ASO Radio and Television, the combined service. So we'll take a short break. When we return, we yield the microphone to the members of the public, so don't go away. It's Roundtable.
Following the sudden outbreak of cholera in some parts of the Federal Capital Territory, significant number of cases have been tested positive for cholera. The Health and Human Services Secretariat has intensified surveillance in the affected communities around the area council. Therefore, residents are requested to report any case of diarrhea to the nearest health facility or the Department of Public Health on the following numbers: Dr. Sadiq Abdurrahman 0803-705-1784 or Dr. Doris John 0803-315-6560. Ensure that the water used for domestic purpose is clean, boiled and filtered. Start ORS immediately you have diarrhea. Ensure that all food is properly cleaned and well cooked before consumption. Ensure that fecal waste are hygienically disposed of. Do not defecate in the open or into streams. Houses with surface wells should make sure they are covered all the time. Public Health Department, FCT Health and Human Services Secretariat. Announcer.
I'm back. Roundtable on the combined service of ASO Radio and Television. My guest in the studio is the first Vice President, National President indeed, of the National Association of Resident Doctors and the person of Dr. Arome Adejo, speaking with us on basically on what really propelled them to go on strike and the need to really call the strike off if some of these demands they have are really met. Well, you'll be following the program by watching and as well listening to. You just dial 09057 408-127. That's the number to reach us in the studio. Get talking with us on this most important discussion we're holding this morning on Roundtable. I repeat, the number again is 0905-7408-127. Get talking with our guests. Strike is being carried out by resident doctors across the nation, across the country. And from the discussion we're holding with the doctor, who's one of the leaders of this association, is saying they are not calling off the strike if some of these demands are not met. But of course, don't forget that government has been constantly meeting with the leadership to see how best the strike could be resolved. But of course, as much as it's an issue between two parties, there must be some kind of resolution mechanism to solve it. It's not going to go immediately, but I believe it will soon go because it is a profession that deals with our lives, and we need to have them back to work. Again, the number is 0905-7408-127. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Who are we speaking with?
Yes, speaking with Nicodemus.
Mr.
Nicodemus.
Nicodemus, how are you?
I'm fine, sir.
All right, straight to your point, Nicodemus.
So we are calling for the government to sit down and answer and settle down with our doctors, because patients are dying, people are dying. Our government are not doing enough. If they have a lot of money to travel abroad for treatment, we don't have go. So we are calling for the government, let them come to their aid. Because without doctors, people cannot survive. So we are calling for them, begging for them, let them come to their aid so that they will resume work. Best life, people are dying. That's all.
Thank you, Nicodemus. People are dying. Indeed. 09057 408 127. 09057 408 127. That's the number to reach us in the studio. People are dying, doctor. That is exactly what most of us are seeing. And there are other ailments that they are terminal, but they need constant professional advice by a physician. And now that you are not working, well, let me pick this call. You combine what the first caller said, what this person will say. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, how are you?
Your name, place of call, sir.
My name is Umar calling from Syria.
Umar, right?
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Actually, what is going on the price of the
Can you be a bit louder, Umar?
What I'm saying, actually, with the strike that is going on, we are not happy with the situation. Because we know the position of doctors, what the services they are rendering, is very sensitive and very essential. But at the same time, on the other side, they are blaming the government, that is the leadership. They are 100% blaming them, but they are not supporting the state. My phone was just discharged yesterday.
Hello, Umar. Hello, Umar. I wish if you could speak a little bit louder so that those who are watching us or listening to us will be able to understand basically what you are saying. I do have the belief that you will still call back and be a bit louder this time around. The number is 09057 408 127. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you, sir?
My name is Emmanuel.
Your name is Emmanuel.
Yes,
Precisely where are you calling us, Emmanuel?
I'm calling from Abuja.
Great to have you on the program. Go ahead, Emmanuel, but reduce the volume of your radio set so that the echo doesn't get back to us in the studio.
Thank you. I do.
All right.
Yeah. It's not surprising what they are doing today. Our president is outside receiving treatment, and we are not here. I think I support the doctor taking with you there. They don't have to go back to work. If the president, Buhari can make it possible for all of us to go and take our treatment outside Nigeria, I think it should be better. How are these doctors feeling? How are they paying school fees? Are they not paying rent fees? I mean, we should look at it. Things are done one-sided. We are in a country, this National Assembly, they are not working. They are the ones supposed to really react. At the initial time, they say whatever president, Buhari told them that's what they will do. They keep on doing. No school in this country, no hospital in this country. I mean, just think of all this place. I don't see the reason why they should stop the strike. No government officials are going to treatment outside the country. And let their children too. Let them not take them outside of training. So that they will be able to fix things in this country.
Yeah.
They are suffering. Myself talking to you, I'm not working. I'm suffering from diabetes. Nobody is helping me to buy drugs. This morning I have not seen anything to eat.
Yeah. I can understand your feeling.
It is very, very affordable in this country.
Okay.
We have one-sided government. They only take care of themselves. They talk about 2023 elections. Just their position, they are after. They are not after the market.
All right. Thank you so very much, Emmanuel. We can understand your feeling. I think let me allow the couple of these calls that we have so far received to be responded to by my guests in the studio. You must have friendly listened to some of these.
Yeah, I feel so bad, and I sincerely want to apologize to Umar for his son being discharged. I know the feeling. I know how it is. Umar, if you are listening to me, I am very sorry. On behalf of my association, please take my unreserved apology. But thank you for understanding with us. Thank you because you know that, yes, we are not fighting for ourselves alone. We are fighting for you, for your children, for the general public. So that is the truth. People started with the responsibility of taking care of the health sector are not doing their job. So what are we doing about it? What are we doing about it? What are we doing about it? That is what I am asking. The head of service of the Federation to stop the migration of doctors from a corrupt platform, from platform that people are using to siphon money, to a good platform. So as we are trying to save money for the country, and you are preventing the migration of doctors for what reason? We don't know. So is it our fault? Are we not fighting for a just cause? You brought out a circular saying that house officers are not part of the civil service scheme. Is that nice? Is that fair? NYC doctors, you brought out a circular that they should be given stipends. You know, NYC doctor. I did NYC at the age of 32 because I graduated before 30 years of age and they forced me. I have worked abroad before coming down to serve my fatherland as an NYC doctor. Now, a man, doctor, with wife and children, he is working as a full-fledged doctor in one outstation, doing operations, doing so many things. You cannot take care of him. If you don't even take care of him, look, then when I go to a mechanic workshop, I ask the mechanic, have you eaten? If he says no, I'll buy him a food. Because if he doesn't eat well, he won't fix my car well. And you know, machines, they can cause accident and kill you. A doctor saving life has not eaten. Go to the hospital. You see mosquitoes all around biting you. You're on duty. You treat malaria every month. The patient on the sick bed, mosquito biting them. The patient buying glove. Habamana. You have an accident. The center you are rushed to, they are not asking the accident victim to pay. Nobody plans for accident. There is no revolving fund. There is no fund for accident victim to be to take care of them for the first 24 hours. Tell me. What goes around comes around, man.
Sure. Doctor, in your profession, I know you studied a history of Florence Nightingale, who was called a lady with a lamb on her head, who walked day in, day out without asking for a stipend. And she was curing people all around. In her lifetime, she died. I know you did.
Well, Florence Nightingale has to do with nurses, but
yes,
I love that question. I want to answer it. Now, did Florence Nightingale tell you that she was hungry throughout? Did Florence Nightingale tell you that her children were not fed all throughout? Did Florence Nightingale tell you that she could not pay the children's school fees all throughout? We're not asking you to give us Mercedes-Benz. We're just asking you, give us what we are supposed to have, to train our children, to send them to school, to take care of our sick parents. I just told you, my wife had a baby. I paid in my hospital. Then, thank God for this new MD, Federal Medical Center, Abuja, then. I paid for my wife to have a baby. I worked there. But thank God for this new MD, Professor Saad. He has changed things. You as a staff, you don't pay. Because yes, you have to take care of your staff to work very well. A doctor in UCH Ibadan working had a miscarriage. You have not paid that doctor for 4 months. You ask her to pay for evacuation. Is that what Florence Nightingale did? That is wickedness.
But we are pleading with you. Please,
You are pleading with me to go and commit suicide.
Please.
I will not commit suicide, sir.
Please.
No, man. No,
Please.
man. I won't.
Otherwise, life at the end of the day will be nasty, brutish, and short. That's how it's going to be.
I want you to...
And you're equally making those who are rich to keep moving ahead with their wealth and fly to abroad for medical attention. And most of us and all of us who are poor will be dying one after the other till
whether we are
no longer in that society.
Not, the rich fly abroad. In fact, they will find a reason. They pay to have a headache so they can hop into the plane and fly abroad, which you are my taxes. What you should be saying is, Nigerians, rise up, talk to your leaders. We voted them in. Talk to them. Tell them to do their job. Now, who is in charge of the health sector? The Minister of Health. Is he doing his job? If not, we will put him out. The head of service, I just called her name. Why should she stop
the question to a
people's platform?
The problem we are facing didn't start up today. It's been there for a very long time, as much as I know this country. Successive governments keep coming and try as much as possible to fine-tune the best out of it to ensure that we stay alive. It's not just the health sector.
No, it's my sector. I know my sector more than you. As you are, let me just ask you a simple question. You are smiling now. You look beautiful. You know, handsome, well fed. If you have not been paid for the past 3 months, will you be smiling? Look at your clothes.
I will be suffering and be smiling now.
No, man. You cannot tell me you have not been paid for the past 6 months. The Minister of Health has not been paid for the past 6 months. Yeah. So why will you want somebody that is treating like not be paid for the past 6 months?
No, I really enjoy discussing with you.
It's true, man. It's true.
Oh, yeah, sure. I really enjoyed discussing with you. I thank you so very much for coming, Dr. Adejo. Yes.
Yeah, thanks so much.
That's how far we can go on this program this morning. I wish time could have been extended for us to have more of this discussion. But of course, that's the limit for discussion, and we're drawing the curtains. I've been speaking with Dr. Arome Adejo. He is the first vice president of National Association of Resident Doctors, speaking to us here on some of the issues that have really led to where we are today with the strike. But I believe at a point this problem will resolve and then they get back to work because we're really dying. My name again is Topsy Gimba. Do have a very fruitful weekend. See you and bye-bye.